You've heard golfers blame a bad round on the weather or their clubs or a divot or the length of they blame it on stuff. But how about blaming your golf game on a North Vietnamese prison? Colonel George Robert Hall never stopped playing through, as it were, even when the course was concrete and the gallery was armed guard. We'll tell you about that in just a minute. The power of visualization led him to card a stunning 76 just weeks after his release from prison from North Vietnam, and how you can use visualization to up your own game, but not just golf.
Got it.
Okay.
Bill, I got to tell you, I have blamed my golf game on a lot of things.
I blame my golf game on just showing up at the golf course.
Oh, I've even blamed it on that a time or two myself. But how do you mean blaming it on a North Vietnamese prison? That is crazy.
And this is a good blame because 76. I mean,
yeah, that's pretty stunning.
That's my front nine. So
yeah, on a good day.
So we need context. So tell us the story.
So Colonel Robert Hall, he's a fighter pilot in the Vietnam War. So in 1965, September of 1965, he gets shot down, and he parachutes and he lands right into the enemy hands. He's taken to the infamous Hanoi Hilton prison, right? So a lot of very recognizable prisoner of war camp. And while he's there, he is all the atrocities that you've heard that prisoners of war, especially during the Vietnam War, had to endure. He had them all. Like, he lost over 100 pounds. He was tortured, denied food, just all the things. But he did something really, really special. And I don't remember the size of the cells that they were in. I want to say they were like 7x7, 8x8, like small, right? Really, really small. And but he played a round of golf every single day. Now, you might be asking, how do you play a round of golf in an 8x8 cell in a prison camp?
Right.
He played it in his head every single day. So it's, if you read the whole story about it, it is pretty amazing. He literally played every single shot. He visualized walking up to the first tee, and he played courses that he had played, so courses he was familiar with in his past. So he would walk up to the first tee box. He would visualize himself pulling out his driver. He would visualize taking the ball on the tee and putting it in the ground, standing up. He would visualize taking his practice swing, and then he would literally then swing like his club, like actually like he had a club in his hand, and he would swing, and he would just visualize watching the ball where it would go. And then he'd visualize walking all the way to the ball. And then he'd visualize the next shot. And he even threw in, hitting it out of the bunker, hitting it out of the rough, hitting it, whatever it was. So he visualized almost every conceivable shot. He did this for 2,695 days, almost pushing 3,000 days. So, what is that? 7 years in prison? 7 years?
A lot of time.
Long time.
Long time.
And he did it mostly just to keep his sanity, just to keep his mind active, to take his mind off of all the horrors that he was experiencing in the prison camp. But here's where it gets really interesting, Bill. He gets released in February of 1973. So when he gets out, he is invited to a kind of a pro-am tournament. They do those things with celebrities, and it's more of a raising money for something or awareness of something like that. So it's a fun thing. It's not a real
right. And
group competition.
If I recall, this was like the POW, a POW Pro-am.
It was. Yeah,
And, and,
it was a POW raising awareness or
right.
acknowledging or celebrating their release, that kind of thing. It was in New Orleans. So he goes out and he shot a 76. That matched perfectly to his pre-war, to before him entering into the conflict. That's what his handicap was before he walked
Bef-
into it for 7+ years in a prison camp, and he shot the same.
and
So
he had a love for the game before going in.
sure, obviously, yes.
Yeah, and that's what kept him going. But to visualize that every day, I'm thinking that just kept him sane.
And I'm sure the reason behind it was just I got to take my mind off of what's going on in my reality right now. Um, but the fact that he did that, not necessarily thinking about it in terms of, oh, I want to when I get out, I want to make sure I still have my shoot my 76. That's not what he was doing it for. But the fact that he did it every single day and visualized every conceivable shot, like it kept his mind like right where it needed to be so it didn't forget. And then when he gets out, it was just like he stepped right back in and it was just I don't know what's the word I'm looking for. It's like it was just routine for him.
Yeah. So
He didn't think about it.
I have a thought. What did the other inmates, or what do other inmates do in that kept him sharp? Uh, I don't know whether he told the other guys to play around with him in their minds or what. We have no
Yeah.
idea. But
Yeah, we don't know
this is what
that
he
part of the
did.
story.
Yeah, this is what he did to keep his mind shut. But imagine the idea of not having something in your mind to keep you going in a situation like that. If he focused on the walls, if he focused on the jungle, if he focused on the bad food, if he focused on the torture, if he focused on all of those things, oh my goodness, drive you
Yeah.
crazy. But he didn't. He focused on golf.
Yeah. Well, so what does that mean for us? I mean, just imagine if you took time every single day and you just visualized on the process. And I think this is an important distinction. He didn't focus on the goal of shooting a 76 when he got out. He focused on the process. He focused on the action steps, which then when he walked out, it was like the muscle memory just came back to him. There was it didn't he didn't have a lot of effort that had to put into it. So think about us, right? Like if we took every single day and just took a little bit of time out and focused and visualized not on the end goal, but focused on what steps am I going to take towards that end goal every day, what that could mean to us.
Okay, let's look at two things here.
Yeah.
First is vision over visibility. Okay, he saw more with his eyes closed than most people see with them open.
Ooh, that's good.
He
That's
just
good.
because he just focused on the one stroke at a time, the one grip at a time, the one imaginary club at a time, the fairway or the green or whatever the case may be. He he focused on that. So when we get up in the morning, what do? Do we jump onto TikTok? Give me a break. I don't have TikTok.
Stumble to go get my cup of
Right?
coffee.
Stumble to go get your cup of coffee, spilling your cup of coffee on the desk, whatever the case
Well,
may be.
some of us
So,
reach a certain age where we get up and the first thing we do is we stumble into the bathroom, but that's all right.
yeah, or waddle, but depending upon the urgency. But
Yeah.
the idea of vision over visibility is like you get up in the morning and you've got something that you want to continually remind yourself. Today, I'm going to blah blah blah. So there's one thing that I do, and this is something you can do, uh, and everybody can do, is say three things and finish the sentence, but plan beforehand what your sentences are going to be, and then finish them. So it's a morning mantra idea, and it starts with I can, or sorry, I am, I can, I will. So let's say I am a child of God. I can live this day in such a way as to honor him. I will reach out to other people and be the hand of God to other people when the opportunity arises. I am, I can, I will. Now you can do the same thing about your business or your job is.
Yeah, anything.
I am a valuable employee. I can
Well,
be the best that I can be in the job that I have today, and I will impress my boss whether he likes it or not.
Well, and I think the key there's I think one little tweak to that, or not one little tweak, but one thing to add to it while you're doing it, actually visualize, especially the I will part, right? Is actually visualize yourself like talking to somebody about like for yours, like I will reach out to people and share the hand of God, whatever you actually just said, but like visualize yourself actually doing that. So think about it like if in terms of your own business, or if you're thinking about like you want to lose weight, you want to get healthy, you want to whatever that is, like actually visualize yourself when you get to the I will part. Close your eyes and like see yourself actually doing the thing. Don't just say the words, but actually see yourself doing it. I think that becomes really important. There's a second thing I think really helps too. And it has to be this idea of it has to be consistent. So he did it every single day. It wasn't like he just said, well, I'm getting kind of tired of the prison cell. I think I'll just close my eyes today and I'll kind of visualize you know, a game of golf. And he only does that, maybe once a week or something like that. It has to be this daily mental rep. So, like you said, part of your morning routine, every morning routine, right? And it's through that repetition that makes it easier to do,
Right.
makes you remember to do it because it becomes part of our routine. But I think it's that repetition, right?
That
That
yeah.
becomes,
So disciplined imagination.
ooh, I like that.
Okay.
Disciplined
So those
imagination.
two things, vision over visibility and disciplined imagination, that Jamie said, the daily mental reps. So
You got a scripture that might go in line with all this for us
funny you should ask, Jamie. I have it here on my phone.
there on your phone?
Okay, this is Romans 12, verse 2.
Yeah.
Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you will be able to test and approve what God's will is, his good, pleasing, and perfect will. That be transformed, trans, be transformed by the renewing of your mind.
And I think that's exactly what we're talking about, right? Is like, so if I do the daily mental reps, that's helps me to transform because I'm constantly renewing my mind every single day. And it absolutely applies to our spiritual life. So we can understand and test and approve of God's will for our life, but it also works in my physical life in terms of I want to get healthier, lose weight, whatever that might be. It helps me in my business. It helps me in my relationships. I can visualize what I need to be doing on a daily basis to make my relationship with my wife or my friends or my boss or my colleague better. So I can do that, but it's the daily reps.
Yeah.
So I think
And,
that's a good jumping off point, Bill.
and it's a discipline. I mean, I know we've mentioned it a couple of times, but it's one thing to say every day I'm going to say this, and guess what? After a while, it could be a little bit boring. He uh, he played more than one course, didn't he? He played several different courses that he
He
remembered.
played courses, yeah, that he was familiar with that he had played prior to going into the conflict. Yeah,
Right. So he was able to bring to mind these different courses and go through it. But it's the daily thing. It's the little things daily that make the big difference over time.
yeah. So I think that's
So
a great jumping off point.
yes, visualize that and work with it. There's Jamie.
That's Bill.